lasted the longest at 13 days before there was a notable taste change.
After being opened?
After being opened in a... No, it wasn't a refrigerator.
Yeah, but still.
18 days. Now, it wasn't fizzy anymore.
Well, no, of course not.
So my question for you is how big of a frickin' can of hams did you have in there that you could take a drink for 18 days?
Just a sip. 13.
A sip? A 13 days.
13 days. Well,
those are some tiny little
let's face
sips in
it,
there.
after day 4, nobody was volunteering to be the one to take a drink to test. Right?
Yeah, true.
After day 4, we were all a little bit like, let's flip a coin. No, I drank from them yesterday. It's your fucking turn. But 13 days before hams tasted notably different. I'm not saying that it was good to start with.
It wasn't, yeah.
It
Just
was
the taste
hams.
didn't change.
They made the best beer signs, though.
Clear, refreshing. They had great jingles, too.
They did, and their commercials were awesome with the bear. I was
okay, apparently, and I didn't watch Super Bowl because sports ball.
Yeah, neither did I.
But apparently, Beyonce's halftime show was like a Black Panther rally.
Well, it wasn't a Black Panther rally, but they dressed like that, and
they
tried to mimic
black.
some.
But here's the part that I find funny, and the reason that I'm bringing it up. Trump supporters, a lot of them, both in my friends' network and in the Trump support groups, are posting about how that there's no place for that, for racially
charged statements.
Right, those racially charged statements during a Super Bowl halftime show, and that we should bring the Ku Klux Klan next year. So, first off, I think there's a word in English.
That makes sense.
Right. First, I think there's a word in English for Trump supporters who don't think there should be racially charged statements, and that's hypocrite. That's what I'm saying, though. If you're offended by Beyonce and not by Trump, that's hypocritical. It works the other way. If you're not offended by Beyonce but are offended by Trump, you're also a hypocrite.
The only way, and I'd have to disagree with part of that statement, but that's because I like history. Because there are members of the Black Panthers that did violent crimes against other people. Mm-hmm. So if you look at it historically, in my eyes, the Black Panthers were a little bit better than they were a lot better than the KKK, but they still fucked up.
Yeah,
right.
So historically,
but
should it happen? But it's
Trump
she didn't mean
analogy.
it that way. I don't think it. And the Trump analogy is horseshit.
Well, no. The Trump analogy that I'm bringing up is Trump is planning to outlaw all Muslims because of terrorists. That's what he wants.
Yes.
And close the borders.
And close the borders and force another sovereign nation to pay for it somehow.
Yeah.
Which isn't
I still want to
racist,
know
the
how
second part of it.
But he's that's all completely.
The first part
And
is
Muslims isn't racist
race.
either. So let's be very clear that none of those things you've mentioned are racist.
Oh, you're right. Muslims is religionist.
It's not racist.
No, Muslims aren't.
Because you can be a
closing the border,
non-Arab
But Hispanics,
he's closing the border.
specifically to kick the illegal Mexicans, which he won't say, out.
It's not just Mexicans.
Okay,
Central Americans.
If you're making
Hispanic, non-Americans.
If you have a problem with an ism, whether it's racism, ageism, sexism, religionism,
That was just
Catholicism. Is the word you're looking for.
No, it's not.
Sure, because Catholic means all. Yeah. It works. The Holy Catholic and Apostolic Church, that's in the Apostles' Creed, damn it. Woohoo, Timmy! If that's what you're going for, then you have to be offended by all of them. So you've got people who are like, this is terrible, this was horribly racist, blah, 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 should never have been allowed. Same people who are promoting other racist things and getting mad when people argue that they're racist. And it boggles my mind how you can do that. The mental gymnastics it must take.
Well, part of it, though, that's interesting to me is that when Trump says something, okay, it's all over everything that he's a racist and blah, 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 even though...
Muslims aren't a race. We've already gone over that.
I'm just saying, okay? It's everywhere. Media's picked it up, 10,000 times. It's all over social media everywhere. there should be the same reaction to what Beyonce's performance was at the Super Bowl, but it's lacking.
It's starting to seem like
It's a very
I didn't watch the fucking Super
but a
Bowl.
very it's a minority of people that are actually protesting.
Why don't
that.
they just come out and say the whole halftime show sucked ass?
Well, it did. It was horrible, but so was the game.
The NFL is a private institution that pre-approved this halftime show. They pre-approved it.
a non-for-profit institution.
Donald Trump is trying to become president of the United fucking States. So I can choose not to tune into the halftime show because I give no fucks, which I did. I can't choose. Well, I can't choose
can't choose.
to
Yeah, you
pretend
can't.
the
That's what your vote
president
is.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, you can choose to try and not get him to be president.
Right, but it still matters who the president is. Who wins the Super Bowl doesn't really matter.
No, it doesn't fucking matter
I just
at
think
all.
it's funny that where we draw the line on racist, inflammatory comments is when you're looking at other men dressed in tight pants bending over an oblong ball.
That is not entirely true. I think the reason there's such an uproar about it is because it was Beyonce. The reason there's a little uproar, because they went off on a tirade when Cam Newton said something about being an African-American quarterback, and you can't put me up against anybody because there's been no one like me. Everybody got in a tizzy because what the fuck you mean just because you're an African-American quarterback.
I'm excited. And it was I said it then, I'm going to say it now, it was a process. It wasn't going to be, what did I say, instant grits, quick grits. It's going to be a process like long cooked collard greens. You know what I'm saying? And I think those collard greens are brewing right now. You can smell it from a mile away.
So I think it's just because it's Beyonce that it's kind of been...
I thought she was like banned from doing Super Bowl halftime shows. She's the one who did the titty slip, right?
No, that's Janet
that was
Jackson.
Janet Jackson.
Oh, look at me being racist. Look at all black women are the same. Could have swore it was Oprah up there. Fuck.
Little piece of history,
Miss
FYI.
Jackson, if you're nasty.
Yeah. Today in history, Oprah interviewed Michael Jackson on TV, and it was the fourth highest, it still is, excluding the Super Bowl, fourth highest rated TV show of all time.
Fucking Michael
Viewed
Jackson.
or rated?
Viewed.
Gotcha.
Okay. Yes.
Because that's when he came out and said he had that damn skin disease or whatever.
Oh,
Just an FYI. In case anybody gives a shit.
it's interesting.
So that's your rant of the week?
No,
No, he's got a list.
His first beef.
that
Yeah.
was my first beef.
I could give less of a
Which,
fuck.
I don't know if the rest of you find it a little odd, but Ben was complaining about black people and called it beef. I'm just saying.
You remember that German teen that was raped by all those Muslim immigrants?
Didn't that come out to not be true?
Yeah, she lied about that.
Yep, heard about that. Well, wasn't it not only her, but it was like her and then about 40 other people came out and claimed that they had been assaulted in some way or another in Cologne, Germany.
I said, be careful about what you're going to start talking about here. Because
Okay.
I know that you don't know the history of what's going on.
Nope.
Okay? So it was wrong and totally screwed up that she said what she said.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well, yeah, false rape
Europe,
allegations.
Europe
fucking
has
stupid.
been having for several years now a huge problem with women being raped. Okay? And
for the record,
it's
the United
been-
States has a huge problem with women being raped.
Well, more so than they had before. And the problem is, though, is the government is sweeping it away.
Oh.
Where here, at least,
Somebody
most of the
posted
time, we have police officers, or, on TV, SVU. I think that's the,
Yep,
they
that's
investigate it and they try to, but they've been having this problem for a while. So is part of that a way for them to try to bring more national
Awareness.
to what's really going on there?
I see where you're going.
And it would be interesting to know really now, and because you have a person crying wolf, now you have to wonder how
Well,
much
for
of
the
what
record,
they're
I didn't
saying
move
really
it.
is true and isn't true, if that's what they were trying to accomplish, right? So, but there is some
Well,
significant problems there.
whether it's
And a
true or
lot
not,
of it
it's
has
not
been
right.
with Muslim
Immigrants?
immigrants, thank you. Yep. And because that's a touchy subject, especially in Germany. Because Germany is still a little touchy for some reason.
Doesn't
about
make- still doesn't
religion
make it
and
right.
no, but that's the point. It's completely wrong, and they've been hiding it and pushing it away and ignoring it.
Well,
No, I'm saying
rape is
crying
wrong,
wolf.
but
Oh, no,
lying
crying
about being
wolf
raped is terrible because it diminishes and allows people to dismiss real rape cases,
right.
and that's horrid too.
No.
But
And then
almost
if this,
more
that's my point though, is if this really is a problem and they were trying to use that as a way to gain awareness, you kind of almost having that backfire on you.
Watch this one. Or watch that one. Or don't. I don't fucking care.